The Bank of Canada left rates unchanged as expected. James, what's your take?
Yeah, so the big take from today's announcement was that the Bank of Canada is recognizing a lot of the global risks that are out there. And what they're doing is, by recognizing that, they're opening the door to future rate cuts.
Given the fact that they've now opened the door to more rate cuts, what's your outlook going forward?
Yeah, so our outlook is that the external risks are going to start playing into GDP growth in Canada. And so the Bank of Canada is going to be recognizing that and having to be forced to cut interest rates over the next few months.
Now, you talked about some of the external risks. What are some of the headwinds facing the Bank of Canada right now?
Yeah, so the biggest headwinds that we know about right now and that are on everyone's mind are really trade and political risk. And so the way that's playing through the economy is that causes deceleration of global growth, lower trade volumes, lower business investment because it's hard to invest in that sort of environment. And so when you have that, that plays out through lower demand for commodity prices, which means lower demand for exports in Canada. And so when you have that sort of environment, that's going to put pressure on economic growth.
Outlook on the loonie, where do you see it going over the next little while?
Yeah, so the fact that the Bank of Canada didn't cut rates today and it hasn't really been signaling rate cuts over the last little while means that our policy rate and our yields in Canada are quite high on an international, when you compare against international, on an international basis. And so weigh that with the offset where if you have lower global growth, that means usually less demand for commodity prices, so less demand for exports. So the loonie is really trading in this range where we have higher rates but lower demand for commodities. So where does it balance? And so our outlook is that, if global growth kind of maintains at this decelerated level, the loonie will continue to trade in this mid 70 cent range.
James, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.